have suggested is an attempt to cut cost, has closed multiple stores nationwide, laying off some 2,200 employees in the process to fix what the company says are clogs and leaks. Now, the absence of plumbing permits, the company's express desire to rein in costs on the back of an across-the-board wage hike, and the history of the Pico Rivera location led us to suggest that factors unrelated to pipes and drains may be at play. And I've already told you many times about drains. If it's for repairs, you don't necessarily need plumbing permits. If it's for replacement or new, yeah, then you can pull some plumbing permits. But, if you got a leaky pipe, you don't need a permit to fix the leaky pipe. Plain and simple, you don't need a permit for that. This is the problem with these people on the left. This whole notion, it probably stems from, them wanting to organize under a labor union. Well, that might be. That might be because Walmart doesn't want to have a union infesting their business model. I don't blame them. So if you're going to, look, what is this idea? Well, we can have anything we want. No, that is not the way it works. Walmart has every bit the right to not have a union in their stores as you have a right to organize one. And so therefore, if they shut down a store to keep unions from coming in and unjustly raising wages and thus raising prices and thus causing customers to go someplace else, thus Walmart's losing money, and then of course what happens? Well, Walmart starts losing money and then they start shuttering stores. This is what happens. You close a store, people lose their job, and that's going to hurt the local economy, plain and simple. This is something that Walmart, whether or not the plumbing issue is true or not, is irrelevant. They're letting people know that they are an economic powerhouse in local markets in which they have stores, and that without that Walmart, your economy locally might just suffer a little bit. So wake up, smell the coffee, smell the roses, smell whatever that Walmart's got cooking in their store, because they have the right. It is their store, not the employee's store. I don't care if they call the employees associates or not. The employees may own stock, but they do not own Walmart. They do not own those stores. Walmart can do whatever they damn well please with those stores, including shutting them down and saying sayonara to all you union-loving employees. Plain and simple. Look, this is America, folks. And, yes, you have a right to organize and unionize, but at the same time, your company has a right to be anti-union. Now, of course, there are things that the company cannot do to be anti-union, and I fully understand that, and I kind of agree with most of those rules and regulations on that. Fine. But at the same time, that you can't tell them that they can't shut down a store. Well, hell, it's none of your business whether they do or don't. If you're making the company a profit without causing them undue headache and cost, then that's great. But as soon as you become a headache, as soon as you increase the company's costs, as soon as their profit margin on that particular location starts to slide and sink and possibly even go negative, they have every right to change what is going on in that store, including closing it. Plain and simple. Y'all, you don't own the store, so you better just get used to it. If you want to be able to dictate certain things like that, then get your own retail store. Open your own version of Walmart. Look, Walmart started with one store. You can start with one store. It doesn't take much. Well, I mean, it might take a big investment to open a Walmart-like store, but Walmart started smaller store with one store, and they opened another, and they opened another, and they opened a few more, and then the store started to get a little bit bigger, and they opened more of the bigger ones, and they started to get even a little bit bigger, and then he opened more of the even bigger ones, and before you know it, and basically in a generation or a lifetime of although Mr. Walton is no longer with us, but still within a lifetime. If he hadn't died already, he could conceivably still be alive. He would not be over 100 years old right now, I do not believe. So within a lifetime, he's gone from one store being a small little store down in Arkansas to being the world's largest retailer. Who says you can't do the same thing? You can do the same thing if you're smart, if you follow the right principles of business, if you do the right thing, you too, and sell the right good products and services to your customers, you too can grow your business to be the size of a Walmart in 40 or 50 years. Walmart is what, 50, 60 years old at most now? I mean, that's it. Not like it's been around like, some place, some retailers like, JCPenney and Sears have been around for over 100 years. Walmart, half that time. Or you could just go the way of Kmart and, barely being alive right now. But it's kind of, look, there are other companies like Target, and Kmart and Sears, for instance. They also don't allow this type of overt unionizing in their stores. They can't afford that either. Retail is a very competitive business. And if you want to disrupt that model, then they have every right to just go ahead and shut them down. Now, of course, there are people out there who are talking about the shuttered Walmart stores having, and it's kind of interesting that this organization over at zerohedge.com would talk about Walmart trying to break the backs of a potential union, when you have other people out there who are saying, well, no, it has nothing to do with the unions now. This Walmart thing is all about this Jade Helm coming up, and it is become, look, it's and here's a Newsmax story about it. It's become a national issue by people who aren't conspiracy theory quacks. And here's this Newsmax story that says White House tries to quell fears of government takeover in military exercise. Now, the White House is trying to reassure the public and the governor of Texas that a special U.S. military training operation in the Southwest would not pose a threat to residents amid speculations that it would amount to a federal takeover. In no way will the constitutional rights or civil liberties of any American citizen be infringed upon while this exercise is being conducted, said White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest. Operation Jade Helm 15 is a special warfare exercise aimed at training the military for combat. It is scheduled to begin in July and continue through September, but critics and conspiracy theorists have cited a range of concerns, prompting Texas Governor Greg Abbott to order the Texas State Guard to monitor the operation. In other words, it has reached the governor's desk. The governor has looked this over and said, well, there might be a little bit of problem here. And Texas has decided to put itself in the line of civil war. That's exactly what it means, folks. I'm telling you this right now. Texas has decided, you've got the full-time regular military doing all these exercises, going to do all these exercises called Jade Helm 15. People are concerned about it. They're saying that Walmart's a part of it. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. So the Texas governor is saying, you know what? The Texas State Guard, the state military, you guys are going to watch and monitor that military. And if something goes down, be ready. Basically what he's saying. Because it's going to be civil war. Because Texas is saying we're not going to allow it. In the White House, of course, the usual, and then if they go beyond the scope of what they said, no, it's not going to, no American citizen's rights or anything is going to be, usurped. And then they go ahead and they do that. Well, in the context of things that happen, things happen and they got escalated and they got out of hand. So we had to make sure that the public had, was safe, kind of like in Baltimore. So we instituted martial law or what have you, in order to keep the public safe. And the National Guard of Texas is probably going to say, no, that's not going to happen. So y'all can't be patrolling our streets because we're not going to allow you. And then before you know it, you got the military fighting the military and you got civil war. I'm Sorry, this is how this kind of stuff happens when you have a devious and evil White House, man in the White House with an administration that is so hell-bent against the United States that it could put people in this type of a position. Now, is Jade Helm a potential takeover? Look, at this particular juncture, I would not put it beneath Barack Obama in this administration one bit. Do I firmly believe, as some conspiracy theorists do, with the connection with Walmart and all that kind of stuff? No, I don't. I like to think that I'm a little bit more logical than that. However, because I am logical, and because I do know how this administration has acted in the past and what they have done in the past, and in knowing that they do not particularly act like they like the Constitution, it's not something that I could totally and completely dismiss. And I know some people are saying, what? Look, I'm telling you, when you look at the history of this man in the White House and his administration over the 6+ years that it has been in office, in power, you cannot dismiss the fact that he might try to pull something like this. Plain and simple. You cannot fully dismiss it. There is no logical way that you can do that. No truth. If you're going to be truthful with yourself, there is no truthful way that you can fully dismiss the ability of this man. You know, this man who's done so many things, or tried to do so many things with executive orders and executive action to change our Constitution and change our laws via executive action. You cannot tell me that it would be behind the purview of believing that this man was capable of doing such a thing, such as Jade Helm 15, and fulfilling the scareness. The conspiracy theorists of those conspiracies of the conspiracy theorists, wackos. Can't put it behind them, folks. You can't say that it's not possible. It's not out of it's within the realm of possibility. Unfortunately, when we're talking about Barack Hussein Obama, just about anything that is going to attack freedom-loving Americans in this country is plausible and possible. I don't like to admit it, but it is. Well, I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out of time for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with Free for All Friday. So be here. Have a great night. I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out.